Welcome to Cisco Live.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Booth. My name is Brian Felt and I'll be your host today. We are in the desert in Las Vegas at Cisco Live. Certainly one of the most anticipated and sought after shows in the industry, and this year is no different. I am super pleased to be joined by a wonderful panel of guests here. We have Prab Singh. Prab is Director of Product Management at ThousandEyes. Christine Fierro, who is Senior Director of Edge and Core Solutions at Worldwide Technology. And last but not least, we have Joe Berger, who is VP of Digital Experience at Worldwide Technology. Three of you, thank you so much for taking the time out of what I'm sure is a busy schedule.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, just real quick, let's start. What are you hearing? What are you seeing here at the show so far? I can probably take a guess about the two letters that you will say.
As you can imagine, a little bit of AI. But no, yeah, we're excited to hear what Cisco's up to in the AI space, but also a lot of great excitement around the Splunk acquisition. This morning in the keynote, a lot of talk around observability. I know Prab's going to get into some of the major announcements. But so far, a great show. I don't know, Christine.
Yeah, for me, like talking on the keynote, definitely the AI integration for ThousandEyes, right? And especially having you here to talk about that is fantastic, but it's just like, yes, end-to-end visibility, like we can continue to accelerate what we offer for customers when it comes to that solution and see the entire network solution, which is awesome.
Yeah, really excited to be here, and also happy to be launching two new capabilities that we introduced this morning at the keynote if you missed it, and just happy to be here and talking more about the opportunities up front.
Well, I do want to get into those capabilities in a moment, but I also want to get into observability. Cisco over the last several years has been super busy with acquisitions, whether it be ThousandEyes, AppD, or as you mentioned just recently, Splunk. Talk about how the three of those might be working together, the importance of observability, and how it's delivering to that full stack for our joint clients.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the core truth is like seeing is believing, and it's the first step towards enacting change and having closed loop operations. Like the way we think about it is first, it's about collecting valuable data in a way that allows you to piece things together, having AI-driven intelligence, so having the data platform first that allows us to be able to then have AI-driven intelligence and algorithms that actually detect inference and where problems are occurring, and having closed loop operations, which is really about how do you actually take the data and the intelligence that we have to actually enact changes that eventually take you towards a more efficient, streamlined operation. And so I think that's what Cisco is doing, is ensuring that across all the suite of products that we have, do we have the right data, do we have the right platform, or do we have the right intelligence to be able to power businesses going forward?
Well, and Christine and Joe, from the digital and physical side, how is what Prab just walked through, how is that affecting and improving the digital experience or networking experience for our customers?
Well, I know from our side, from the digital employee and even the customer experience, having that end-to-end visibility is so crucial. And they talked about this a lot today. Before, maybe you kind of knew what was going on at the end user level or maybe in the network, but getting it all the way down from the agent through the cloud now and really knowing end-to-end visibility is so important. And it's critical to know what is going on with those applications, because anytime there's an outage or something's down, that can cost you real money. It can cost poor employee experience, which is a loss in productivity. So seeing all that visibility becomes so critical now.
Yeah, and same thing like from the network side, right? It's being able to pinpoint where that issue is and really understand, hey, is it at the user? Is it maybe the POP somewhere in between? Is it my network? Is it your network? Like where exactly that problem is, and getting to that point faster versus, to Joy's point, when you don't do that, you have a really bad experience. Yeah. I work from home most of the time, like if I'm not traveling, right? Like when my Wi-Fi doesn't work or when like I can't get to an application, I'm like cursing the world because it's like, this is easy, it should work. So having that ability to bring it quicker to solve it, definitely key for the network.
Yeah, we have a t-shirt called, well, go ahead and blame the network.
Yep.
I was just about to say, we always blame the network.
Don't blame me.
Okay. It's never the end user, it's always the network.
It's got to be the Wi-Fi,
yeah,
it's got to be the network, but it's not always as the case.
And now we can prove it out where it actually happens.
That is not the network.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the network, yeah.
Well, talking about proving it out, I mean, that industry consolidation certainly happening at Cisco, but all over the place. How are we making it simpler, maybe from a WWT standpoint? How are we making that consolidation easier on our clients as it relates to bringing these solutions together, bringing them into the ATC and proving it out?
Well, I think that's such a great thing about partnering with Cisco. Number one, Cisco is actually bringing a lot of these data points in through some of these different acquisitions. I think to your point, there is so much data happening, it's kind of hard to measure and manage all this stuff. Now with the acquisition of Splunk, I think having a platform to look at all this is going to become really critical. I think what WWT has done over the years is by working with all these different partners, testing it out in ATC, we've had a chance to actually see how it all works and how it comes together and help our customers better understand, what is the benefit or the business case behind doing that.
And even just like the pros, the cons, like some customers we see, hey, I'm trying to solve this problem and I want to use this solution, but it's not actually the solution that's the best fit, right? There may be something else. And so maybe they're looking at a different approach and it's like, hey, actually what Cisco has here from the end-to-end, visibility perspective and the entire solution, we can talk to you about all those different parts and pieces and you don't have to go to 5 different people to get help or get answers. It's kind of like the one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Well, Prab, walk us through some of the product launches that we're seeing this week, and then what does that mean for our clients moving forward? How should they be thinking about those announcements?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me actually tell you a quick story about that too, because I was talking to Joe earlier about this. ThousandEyes ourselves, we have been a SaaS native platform from day one, and so we operate our own SaaS service. And 5 years ago, believe it or not, we were only dabbling in the cloud. We had our own on-prem SaaS solution that our customers access globally. We started our cloud migration about 5 years ago, and then a couple of years ago, 2 years into the migration, we got acquired by Cisco. And our growth rate accelerated, and so we need to essentially accelerate our cloud migration so we can serve all our customers faster. Fast forward up until 2 years ago, now we have no more data centers. We're all in the cloud using cloud native technologies, Kubernetes stack, global accelerators, et cetera, to be able to serve our customers globally across multiple regions. And our cloud operations teams that have traditionally used ThousandEyes on ThousandEyes came to us about 2 years ago and said, hey, I need more now across the cloud than I've ever seen before. While I need best of breed internet visibility, I need best of breed on-prem, but I also need more in the cloud. So we basically started on this journey of building for ourselves, where we can see deeper behind the AWS front door, where we start to piece together how an actual service is being served to our clients and users. And so what we launched this week was a new capability called Cloud Insights, where we essentially crawl your inventory across AWS and build a service map to help you understand how each service is being delivered from your data center, from the internet, wherever your users are accessing the application, and then layering that with configuration change events and traffic flow. Because one of the things that our teams and our SRE teams have told us is typically when there's a problem that happens with our service, sometimes it's infrastructure related, but most times it's because somebody pushed a button somewhere. Yep. And if you can figure out what button who pushed at what time, especially in the cloud when everything is API driven, we can actually piece that story together. It just gave us this opportunity to be able to build that platform. So Cloud Insights is something we developed.
And we saw the keynote this morning and I was really impressed with that whole story because I do think that has been sort of the missing part, especially as more workloads and microservices have gone in the cloud. It's having that visibility all the way to that stack can really tell you, okay, is it a process change? Is it an update? Like where is the real problem taking place? So we're really excited about that for sure.
And a key problem we've seen also in our customers that we all work with, right, is as folks are moving to the cloud, there is this challenge around understanding a new tool set. How do you understand AWS and Azure, especially go multi-cloud? How do you understand these new concepts that require our engineers to operate traditional networks to rescale, retool themselves? And we're essentially trying to provide it and make them handhold them into the cloud using the cloud platform that we built in Cloud Insights product.
Yeah, recognizing that our clients are just looking for something easy to bring into their environments. What can clients perhaps do now, maybe 2 or 3 steps to get ready for some of those announcements that Prab has started to highlight?
I mean, one, I think if you operate a cloud environment today, we can simply map your service topology using APIs and IAM roles. You typically already are collecting VPC flow logs. For a lot of our customers, they're collecting VPC flow logs for security. It's a big use case for having real traffic. Well, guess what? It's also really important for connectivity and networking and application experience. So being able to essentially tap into that and tie that piece is also part of the Cloud Insights marketing program.
I would say too, learning, right? Understanding, hey, what is this new thing? How does it affect my network? How would it intertwine or work with my network? And there's various ways to do that, right? Like there's a new ThousandEyes certification, right? If I'm not mistaken, that was just announced maybe a couple weeks ago. You can do that. Obviously, our Advanced Technology Center has a plethora of options where you can kind of kick the tires, test drive things, look at that whole solution. Obviously, the experts that we have, again, to continue that education if you want further, kind of one-on-one. But for me, I think learning is that next step in that, journey of getting to how do we implement all these things.
That's a great point.
And I'd even say from our angle, on the digital employee experience side, it's prioritizing that. Why does that have to matter? Why does observability matter so much around ensuring both customer and the employee experience? So making sure that the overall business, not just IT, knows why it matters so much to making sure that mission critical applications are working and the customer apps are all working. Prioritizing that the business, I think, is really important for customers right now, yeah.
The WWT Cisco partnership, certainly storied, long-serving partnership that has been great for the both of us. That extends to the likes of ThousandEyes and Apti and so forth, and now Splunk. What can we expect from our partnership together moving forward, and what does that mean for what our clients are going to start experiencing?
Well, I mean, I'd say number one, it's us being here. It's us putting the time and effort and working with Cisco to understand what's coming and testing out in our labs and getting the learning certifications. I think it's a mutual respect between both partners here of, how can we help our customers collectively get better together and go understand these newer technologies.
And I'd say it's just continuing the partnership, right? Like we have, like you said, a fantastic partnership with Cisco as a whole and all the different parts and pieces that they acquire over the years, but just continuing that, right? Like it just makes us stronger. It makes what we can offer our customers stronger. I mean, that's simplicity there.
Yeah, and as a technology vendor and like building products, what gives you the most happiness is solving customer problems. And having partners like WWT that are really close to customers and having the deep relationships that you have allows us to scale and make sure we bring technologies to the world and solve real customer problems. So we're really happy to be partnered with WWT in any way.
Well, I know the show's not over yet, but give me a note or an idea or something that you jotted down that you want to follow up on or make sure that you pull the thread on after the show is over here that you think will make an impact going forward.
That's a hard question. There's so much, and it's only day 2.
Yeah,
it feels like day 4,
2.
but I think for me, a lot of the AI integration. So like some of it I know about, and we hear all the time, but some of the new things that are happening, right? Like what exactly does that mean? How can we take that forward with what we offer from a networking perspective? Because that's my area, right? And so those things are the things that I'm definitely going to follow up on, dig deeper.
I think the biggest thing, there's just so many announcements happening this week. It's just paying attention because there's going to be a lot of newer things happening and coming out over the next few months that are getting announced here, getting GA'd over the next few months. Just staying on top of it and just paying attention to all the excitement coming out of this show, especially as it pertains to AI, obviously the Splunk acquisition coming in the fold, all the cool stuff coming out of ThousandEyes. Just keeping on top of all the fun and excitement coming out of here. I think that's top of mind for me, for sure.
Yeah, and for me, it's really about continuing to make sure I stay close to customers and like understanding the trends and problems. I think this is a fast changing environment that we're seeing across our customers and the industry.
Yeah.
And so being able to stay close to our customers and our partners is going to be really kind of an ongoing thing even beyond the week that we're here today.
Absolutely. Well, that's fantastic. To the three of you, I know you're super busy, so we'll let you get on your way. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us here today. And thank you for watching. If you want any more information or resources to anything we talked about here, or anything related to WWT, Cisco, ThousandEyes, Apti, Splunk, you can head over to WWT.com where we have all of that information and content waiting for you. Thanks again, and we will see you next time.